The WNBA just witnessed one of the most embarrassing moments in playoff history when Alicia Gray tried to get Indiana Fever fans ejected from their own arena, only for security to bring them right back after realizing she completely made up the whole thing. What started as Gray pointing dramatically at the crowd during a blowout loss turned into a full investigation that exposed just how desperate some players have become when they can't handle basic playoff pressure. The footage is everywhere, the witnesses have spoken, and what they're saying about Gray's behavior that night will absolutely shock you. If you're Team Fever and tired of this nonsense, drop a comment saying Fever Forever right now to show your support. Because what happened next proves exactly why the WNBA's viewership has been struggling without certain star players on the court. The incident exploded during Game 2 of the 2024 playoffs when Gray suddenly stopped mid-game to point at specific Indiana fans, claiming something terrible had been said. Security rushed over immediately, escorting a couple from their seats while the broadcast awkwardly cut away. Gray stood there with her hands on her hips, acting like she'd just been victimized by the worst heckling imaginable. The Dream Bench rallied around her, nodding in support as if something truly offensive had occurred. But here's where the story takes a wild turn that nobody saw coming. Within minutes, eyewitnesses started posting what really happened, and it was nothing like Gray claimed. A fan sitting 3 rows behind the incident swore on social media that all anyone said was, "You're good, Lex, she's not even trying anymore." Directed at Lexi Hull, not even at Gray herself. Think about that for a second. A simple encouragement to an Indiana player somehow triggered Gray to demand fan removal during a playoff game. The same witnesses confirmed Gray then turned around and unleashed what they described as very nasty words at multiple fans who hadn't said anything at all. But that wasn't the whole story, because what security did next completely destroyed Gray's credibility. After reviewing what actually happened and talking to witnesses, they brought those same fans right back to their seats with an apology. Let that sink in. Security literally apologized to the fans Gray had kicked out because they realized nothing inappropriate had been said. One arena worker later revealed it was just protocol to temporarily remove fans to let players calm down, essentially admitting Gray couldn't handle basic playoff atmosphere. The backlash online was immediate and brutal. Videos of the incident went viral with millions of views, and comment sections exploded with fans calling out the obvious lie. People started comparing it to previous false accusations in the league, with some calling Gray's behavior embarrassing and unprofessional. Former players even chimed in, saying if you can't handle someone saying you're not trying hard enough, maybe professional sports isn't for you. The damage to Gray's reputation was instant and severe. What makes this even more shocking is looking at Gray's actual performance that night. She shot 3 for 11 from the field, had 4 turnovers, and looked completely lost on defense. The Fever were destroying them by double digits, and instead of focusing on her game, Gray decided to create drama in the stands. It's almost like she needed an excuse for why she was playing so poorly, and blaming the fans seemed easier than admitting she was getting outplayed. The timing couldn't have been worse for Atlanta either. This was supposed to be their statement game, their chance to close out the series at home. Instead, they got blown out by an Indiana team missing 5 players, including their biggest stars. While Gray was busy pointing fingers at innocent fans, players like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston were putting on a clinic, showing what real playoff basketball looks like. The contrast was impossible to ignore. But here's what really exposed the whole situation as a complete fabrication. Multiple fans who sat in that section started sharing their videos and testimonies online. Not a single person backed up Gray's version of events. In fact, several people said Gray was the one using inappropriate language toward fans, not the other way around. One witness claimed Gray told a fan to shut the F up, when all they did was cheer for their own team. Another said she called someone a B word for clapping after she missed a shot. The league's response, or lack thereof, made things even more interesting. No statement was released about the incident, no fines were issued to anyone, and no investigation was announced. It's like they wanted the whole thing to disappear as quickly as possible because they knew how bad it looked. Meanwhile, the fans who were wrongfully ejected haven't received any compensation or formal apology from the Dream organization. What happened next would shock everyone even more. In the post-game press conference, Gray completely avoided questions about the incident, claiming she needed to focus on basketball moving forward. Her coach backed her up with vague statements about protecting players, but couldn't provide any specifics about what supposedly happened. The whole thing reeked of damage control, and reporters weren't buying it. The Indiana organization, on the other hand, handled it perfectly. They didn't engage with the drama, didn't make any statements defending their fans, and just let their play do the talking. Coach Stephanie White kept her team focused on basketball, and it showed in their dominant performance. While Atlanta was distracted by manufactured controversy, Indiana was busy making history. This incident perfectly captures a bigger problem in the WNBA right now. Some players seem more interested in creating narratives than playing basketball. They want to be victims instead of competitors. Gray's fake accusation is just the latest example of players who can't handle the pressure and attention that comes with playoff basketball. When you're getting blown out and playing terribly, it's easier to blame the fans than look in the mirror. The irony is that Indiana fans are known for being some of the most respectful in the league. They show up, they cheer loud, but they rarely cross lines. Multiple WNBA players have praised the Gainbridge Fieldhouse atmosphere over the years. For Gray to target these specific fans during a blowout loss just makes her look even worse. It's like she picked the wrong crowd to mess with. Social media detectives also uncovered something interesting about Gray's history with fan interactions. This wasn't her first time complaining about crowd noise or heckling. She's had multiple incidents over the past few seasons where she's confronted fans or complained to referees about the crowd. It's becoming a pattern and not a good one for someone trying to be taken seriously as a professional athlete. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now if you want more exclusive WNBA coverage, because what I'm about to reveal about the aftermath will blow your mind. The financial impact of this incident can't be ignored either. Those fans who were ejected had paid good money for playoff tickets, taken time off work, and arranged childcare just to watch their team play. To be kicked out over a complete lie, even temporarily, is unacceptable. Some legal experts are saying they could have grounds for a lawsuit against both Gray personally and the Dream organization for defamation and emotional distress. But the real victim here might be the WNBA's reputation. At a time when the league desperately needs to grow its fan base and create positive experiences for attendees, having players falsely accuse fans and get them ejected is a terrible look. It sends a message that fans aren't welcome if they cheer too loud or support the opposing team too enthusiastically. That's not how you grow a sport. The other Dream players have been notably silent about the incident. None of them have come out to defend Gray or corroborate her story. That silence speaks volumes. It suggests even her own teammates know she was in the wrong, but don't want to publicly throw her under the bus. The locker room dynamics after something like this must be incredibly awkward. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever have used this as motivation. Players have been posting cryptic messages on social media about letting their game do the talking and rising above the noise. They're clearly aware of what happened, but are taking the high road publicly while using it as bulletin board material privately. That's the mark of a well-coached professional team. The most damaging part for Gray is that this will follow her for the rest of her career. Every time she plays in Indiana, fans will remember this incident. Every time she complains about something, people will question if she's telling the truth. She's essentially destroyed her own credibility over one moment of frustration during a game she was losing badly. What's even more telling is how quickly the story died in mainstream WNBA media. After the initial reports, most outlets stopped covering it entirely. No follow-up investigations, no deep dives into what really happened. Nothing. It's almost like there was a coordinated effort to make this embarrassment go away as quickly as possible. But the internet never forgets, and fans certainly won't. The psychological aspect of this is fascinating too. Gray was clearly rattled by the playoff atmosphere and the pressure of the moment. Instead of channeling that energy into better play, she lashed out at innocent bystanders. Sports psychologists would have a field day analyzing why a professional athlete would self-destruct like this on such a big stage. Looking ahead to future games, this incident has created a whole new dynamic. Indiana fans now know they're in Gray's head. They know she can't handle even mild heckling. You can bet they'll be even louder next time these teams meet, and they'll be completely within their rights to do so. Gray has essentially painted a target on her own back. The league needs to address this properly before it happens again. Clear guidelines about what constitutes removable fan behavior versus false accusations from players need to be established. Players who make false claims should face consequences, whether that's fines, suspensions, or mandatory anger management courses. Otherwise, this will keep happening. As we move forward into the 2025 season, this incident serves as a reminder of what not to do when you're struggling on the court. Professional athletes need to maintain composure, especially during playoffs when emotions run high. Gray failed that test spectacularly, and it cost her team momentum, respect, and possibly the series. The truth is, playoff basketball is supposed to be intense. Fans are supposed to be loud. Home court advantage exists for a reason. If you can't handle someone saying you're not trying hard enough, maybe you need to evaluate whether you belong on that stage. The best players thrive under pressure and use crowd energy to fuel their performance, not create fake controversies. This whole situation also highlights why certain players have become so beloved by fans, while others struggle to connect. Players who embrace the atmosphere, who feed off the energy, and who can take some good-natured heckling with grace are the ones who build real fan bases. Those who point fingers and make false accusations when things aren't going their way will never earn that respect. In the end, Alicia Gray's attempted deception backfired spectacularly. Instead of sympathy, she got exposed. Instead of shifting blame, she became the story for all the wrong reasons. And instead of helping her team, she became a distraction that contributed to their downfall. It's a cautionary tale for any athlete thinking about blaming the fans when they're having a bad night.